Gordon Ramsay isn't successful because he's a great chef. He's successful because he's a great storyteller. I've been watching his career unfold for decades, starting with seeing his abrasive nature on the American version of Hell's Kitchen. Very much one of those love him or hate him celebrities, everyone has to agree that Gordon knows how to make cooking compelling, even for people who don't particularly care for food, like my weird husband. So how does he do that? First off, let's look at Gordon's life as a whole. Having come from modest roots, he truly embodies the beloved underdog story, which we're going to talk about more in a bit. With so many Nepo babies floating around every industry, there's a newfound appreciation for people who have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and took great risks to build their success from scratch. Gordon Ramsay absolutely falls into this category. He's never shied away from adversities, like growing up in an abusive household, the knee injury that took him out of the running as a football player, and even the fact that his culinary dreams grew with his career. He's obviously not the first, and he certainly won't be the last chef to achieve high praise and a slew of awards, but his storytelling strength doesn't come from his food. I'm not wealthy enough to actually step foot in a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, though I did try to make the famous beef Wellington this past Christmas. Presentation was garbage. Gordon would have screamed at me. Taste? Phenomenal. I can't even imagine how good the real thing might be. Hint, hint, Gordon, if you ever see this. Having said that, Gordon doesn't use his culinary skills to create a story like many other celebrity chefs out there. Even though cooking is technically the main focus of his shows, it rarely feels like the main plot. He incorporates B or even C plot lines that make his stories nuanced and rich. To understand this, we have to step out of the kitchen and onto the small screen, which is where Gordon really shines as a storyteller. His introduction to reality TV was on a show called Boiling Point, and it was here that he developed a storytelling formula. Each episode had a plot to follow, with a problem to solve, and Gordon acted as the journey's hero. Except he wasn't portrayed positively, but this is also where he started to distinguish himself from other celebrity chefs. While others might fight back against being edited in a negative light, Gordon leaned into it. Being a jerk head chef isn't a unique concept. That whole brigade style of kitchen management is common and, quite honestly, probably really helpful. But embracing that role was novel at the time, and Gordon quickly realized that it didn't matter if he was rude. What mattered was if there was a problem to solve. No talking heads, no post-filming interviews, no contestants to bully or berate. This fly-on-the-wall approach gave him the insight to structure his career around one basic principle. Food could be used as a vehicle for telling a story. And once he saw the potential for that formula, he found his stride in the early 2000s by blending his natural charisma, abrasive personality, and cooking skills to create reality television that was relatable and digestible for everyone. Now, there are a few ways that he takes on culinary storytelling. He doesn't have a standard cooking shows like a lot of celebrity chefs out there, instead focusing on competitions, higher stakes, or renovations. Obviously, there's lots of stories out there just like this, but what makes Gordon different is his ability to create compelling plots from the contestants and characters featured on the respective shows. He knows exactly who to eliminate and who to keep, and it's not always about skill. Then the show isn't just about cooking anymore, it's about character development. If a rivalry develops, you better believe both contestants are staying for a while. Arrogance or flippancy, TV gold at this point, although we're starting to skew away from shock value just for the sake of it. Anyway, he makes sure there's a reason to watch beyond cooking. Pressure, intensity, problems to solve, interpersonal dynamics. The people who last more than a few episodes have a backstory and why we should care about them. Then he often continues relationships with the ones he deems worthy, like sending some to culinary school, inviting them to his own restaurants, or even just giving them a boost with some heavy-duty networking. This practice is so common that I sometimes wonder if his competition shows are actually job interviews in disguise. Within that big risk, big reward storytelling, he uses tactics to keep the audience invested. For example, here's a formula that happens constantly on Hell's Kitchen. The two kitchens go head-to-head, with the final winning vote coming down to the last dish. Then he chooses the one that will create the most conflict. This is just one of the many ways Gordon creates an engaging hook. He allows strong personalities to shine, intervenes when necessary, and sets a standard that's understandable to the audience. But unlike a lot of reality TV that leaves the characters and contestants in free-for-all situations, Gordon's actually in the midst of it himself. He's part of the kitchen, creating the drama, deciding what's good and what's bad. At the same time, he's also encouraging and nurturing and intentional with his praise. That balance creates an authenticity to the Gordon Ramsay persona, lending credibility to who he is as a character too. Now there is one exception to his good storytelling, and it's in his recent Netflix documentary. Like I said before, he has an underdog history, which has always made his success inspirational. It's amazing that he put himself out there and worked hard and turned his passion into profits. He won. He made it. Having said that, his success now works against him as he tries to present opening a massive restaurant as this huge, sympathetic struggle. It just doesn't land. Because it breaks the illusion. We're supposed to root for him like he's got this unsurmountable plight. But he's now Gordon goddamn Ramsay, the man with 1,000 Michelin stars, properties all over the world, and enough money to not care about critics. He's not an underdog anymore. That angle doesn't work. We know he's going to be fine. When it comes to his cooking shows, however, Gordon Ramsay knows how to tell a good story. From kids to experienced chefs to international cooking, there's always something to care about, someone to root for, or the potential for some decision to go very, very wrong, and then hope there's a way to fix it. Those Michelin stars might give him the credibility to be taken seriously, cussing and all, but it's his storytelling that makes him a legend.